Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Law and Disorder with Vinny Parco and Courtney Turner, Joe Croce, and Ed Ciani. I want to thank them for coming on tonight. They'll be on a little later. We got a lot to talk about as usual. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here, right? First of all, let me tell you some good news. The Supreme Court has ruled that the stay in Mexico is legal and the Biden administration has to follow it. And they did claim that they're going to fight it vigorously, but they will adhere to the law, and that's good. That means that when people come in, they're not going to catch and release. They're going to put them back into Mexico and have to wait. I like to see how that's going to work out because the crisis at the border is getting worse and worse and worse. Some good news. That's some good news. Some other good news is they took the Emmy away from Andrew Cuomo. They took it away because they said he's a fraud. He's a piece of garbage. But on his parting remarks, what he did was he commuted the sentence of one of the people that were involved in the Brinks robbery, and they killed I don't know how many three police officers. Now I was at a dinner with the police officers that responded, and they were heroes. They were heroes. They're ones that didn't get killed. And that was like, I don't know, 30 years ago when I first started in the PI business. And it's heartbreaking, really heartbreaking. More heartbreaking to the families of these slain officers to know that this murderer is being left. And by the way, I found out this guy's son is this district attorney for San Francisco who's letting people rob as they rob up to $999. They don't arrest them. So what these people are doing, it's just amazing. They're going into department stores, robbing it with a calculators, and figuring out that it's less than $999, and they're walking out. They're actually walking out. Now, what has that done? What it's done is some of the stores have closed. I mean, how can you run a business when you know people are stealing and you can't do anything about it? It's amazing. You can't run a business. So I don't know how many, but I understand a couple of the drugstores in San Francisco closed. A couple other stores closed, and it's just logical that they're going to close because they just can't. And this is prevalent in a lot of the democratic socialist cities where crime is rampant. They have no bail. They let them out, and then they steal, rob, hurt, murder. Well, murder they'll get locked up. But I'll give you an example in New York City, where we have a tremendous crime wave. People are getting arrested, going home, and then committing crimes the next day because they're not afraid. One police officer was interviewed. He said, these young gangbangers, they're more afraid of getting shot by the other gangs than about getting arrested. So they're all carrying guns, and they don't know how to use them, so they just fire indiscriminately. And sometimes they hit the other guy, and other times they hit innocent people. Okay. Tonight, the subject tonight is about Afghanistan. How can we not talk about it? Okay, this whole thing is just. I mean, the former prime minister of England, Tony Blair, said, "Guy's an imbecile." Talking about Biden, and a few other people around the world have said he lies on his interview on his presses. He says, "Oh no, I'm in good shape with all the bullshit." It's a lie. He's lying about everything. What's really bad is that his staff don't know what is going on. The Department of Defense. Hey, Mike, how are you tonight? The Department of Defense, the Secretary of State. Everybody knows what's going on. They're contradicting each other. They can't get their story straight. The head of Joint Chiefs of Staff, Miley, he's incompetent. He has no idea. The military is more concerned with teaching their Navy, Army, and Marine members about CRT. They're making them woke, but they're not working. They're not being good soldiers. They're worried more about. They're not training properly. They're getting indoctrination. That's what they're doing. And I think the Taliban has seen that. They've seen the weakness in Biden, especially with China. He's been kowtowing to China. And some people call him China Joe. Look what happened with his son, with the emails and the son getting billions of dollars in investments from Chinese companies. Come on. It's just a scam like you wouldn't believe. And also, his son is an artist now. Well, he's a bullshit artist, that's for sure, but he's an artist. Now, I know from law enforcement, and I know from being a private investigator, and I know from many years, and I'm also a certified fraud examiner, that art is the best way to launder money. He can get millions and millions of dollars just for art. Now, here's how it works. For all you people that don't know how it works. You buy a piece of art. Steve Gretsch, yes, the Taliban gave us ultimatum to get out. What the hell do we have ever taken direction from terror organization? Well, we never had a president like Biden. That's why. But let me tell you about laundering. You put an arbitrary price on a piece of art. It could be a $5,000 piece of art, but you sell it for $500,000 because it's beautiful. Yeah, beautiful. So you sell the art. The wire transfer money into your account, and that could be, hey Nick, how are you? That could be how you get the money into the country. So what happens is ill-gotten gains comes into a country through money laundering. Okay. Now, of course, with the money laundering, there's some taxes have to be paid. But if you made $500,000 illegally, you don't mind paying some taxes on it, and then you legitimize, and then that money goes in your bank account. It's legitimate money. I mean, legitimate on the face of it. But what I don't understand, and I had security companies, and we've done security for years. The people that you're protecting, you get them out of harm's way first. Okay? So the Americans and the diplomats that were in Afghanistan should have been released first, not the military. The military should stay there to protect them. So what do they have? A token? Thank you, Eddie. They have a token force to help at the Kabul airport. That's all they can do, the Kabul airport. But they don't have enough to really secure outside of there. So they're blocking people coming in. Now, they keep saying they're going to get out by the 31st. I don't think that's feasible. And I'll tell you why. There are a lot of Americans that are in that cannot get to the airport. The Taliban doesn't want them to. The Taliban has the American country by the balls. Okay, it would be very blunt about it. They have been bombed for 20 years by the Americans. The Americans have helped the quote unquote Afghan government, which is incompetent. That's why Biden feels at home with them. They have a chance now to get even. And Biden gave them that chance. He's letting them do what they want to do with America. And his weakness has been shown through constantly. The guy is incompetent to be a president of anything. He's not competent to be a president of outhouse. He's a doddering fool, and everybody knows it. That's why he didn't campaign. He stayed in his basement because he knew that they were going to cheat. They cheated with this COVID. People can't go to vote. They have to do mail ballot. Just the other day, I saw something. An email came in. One of my 100 conservative emails I get, that they found a guy in I think either Texas or California with thousands of ballots, guns, billets, all kinds of stuff. This guy's a total felon, and the audits that are being conducted in Arizona and other states, they're finding that there's so many ballots and so many crooked things happen during the election that it's amazing that they didn't get it sooner. And I don't know what they can do with it. I mean, you got these people the people that support Trump keep saying he's going to come back and this, that. I don't think he's going to come back before the next election. and if they don't get voter integrity, this is going to happen again. It's going to happen again. The Democrats do not want voter ID. They want you to have a vax card to get on a plane. They want you to have ID to get food stamps. They want you to have ID to get your welfare. They want you to have ID to go to a movie theater. They want your ID to do anything. You go and get no matter what you do, you got to show a driver's license or a valid government ID for anything, but not for vote. Now, I don't understand. And they keep bringing all these this narrative up that Jim Crow, that the Republicans are trying to stifle. No, we're not going to go into that today. We could talk 5 hours on that alone. But it's been proven that the laws that have been changed are favorable for voting. It's not the opposite what they're saying. I think in one state they made more. It's Joe Croce. We're gonna have fun tonight, people. We got my co-hosts are a little. I don't know. They're in a good mood today. So am I. I'm not ranting. Usually I rant. I'm not gonna rant. I'm talking very calm, very calm. Okay. Going back to what Joe Biden did. Number one, you let the American citizens leave. You let the allies leave. Then you destroy the equipment that's there, or take it out. Don't leave it for not only the Taliban, for any enemy. And now what's worse is that the Taliban is telling Joe Biden they got to be out by August 31st. Now, again, I don't want to bring Trump up, but Trump had a plan. If you notice that nobody died, no American soldier or any of the allies died in the last year when Trump was president. Okay, Trump had a tacit agreement with the Taliban. He said, "Listen, keep things quiet. We're going to pull the guys out. We're going to pull our troops out. Don't mess with us. Don't do anything other than what we agreed to. Otherwise, I'm going to bomb the hell out of you." And they knew he would do that. Biden won't do that. Biden is a leftist. They want this new world order, but first they want everything to be destroyed, and then everything gets destroyed. Then they come back as the heroes that we. By the way, I don't know if anybody ever saw the movie Mad Max. I think everybody's seen it with Mel Gibson. Do you know that movie was made? I don't know how many years ago, but the time of that movie was 2021. So I think there's something to be said about that. Well said, Cynthia. Thank you, Cynthia. I think there's some. Well, unbelievable. All right, so now, also keep in mind the gross national product of Afghanistan is drugs. Okay, they have poppies. They make opium. Opium becomes heroin. Blah 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 blah. Plus, they get fentanyl. They export more drugs than anybody else, and then it comes in through the southern border. The Mexicans, the Ecuadorians, every group. It's not just Mexicans and Hondurans and Nicaraguan. Not only Central America, they've been catching people from Somalia, from Syria, all over. Now, keep in mind with the open border, you have terrorists. They've caught terrorists, but how many have gotten away? They are overworked, overwhelmed. They can't do their job. You know, you grab 10 people and 5 run away. I mean, how can you do that? And now with the Supreme Court ruling, I think things are going to get a little better, but not really. You got to close the border. You got to really. It's like the movie Escape from New York. What do you call it? Ask what movie? I was talking to Mad Max. Mad Max is about a catastrophic event, an apocalypse that happened in Australia where it was filmed, but it was indicative of what's going on nowadays. Okay. All right, we're going to bring some of my people because they're chomping at the bit. They're texting me and they say they want to get their 2 cents in. So what we're going to bring out first? Let's bring Joe Croce out first. I want to hear what he's got to say.
Hey, buonanotte.
Now
Buonasera.
the guns in your background, are they the ones that the American left in Taliban for the
They'll
Taliban?
never get mine. They'll never get mine.
Steve
No,
Brett
it's
is talking
funny.
about lithium.
I can't wait to see one of these Taliban idiots try to fly a Black Hawk helicopter. That's going to be hysterical. I would love to get that on video. Because all they're going to do is start the engine and tip the thing over, and it's just propeller blades are going to go flying.
Joe, I agree with you, except that they're going to find people that can fly and use this equipment. They will find people to do that. Not their own people. They'll get them from Syria, Iran. Keep in mind, now they have a caliphate. Now they have what they wanted for years. They want to have one major Muslim terrorist state, and everybody's going to be feeding into them. And they're going to be like the hotbed for Al Qaeda, ISIS. And ISIS is going to come back. After Trump destroyed them, there's still some left, and they're going to build up again. Okay.
Well, I finally figured out why Biden wants to take away all our guns. He wants to send them over to Afghanistan.
No, they have. I've seen a video of some of the stuff that's left. Unbelievable. Heavy-duty tanks, armored. I don't know how many thousands. I mean, the amount of weapons that they left there are staggering. If they left that for another country could use that to defend themselves against anybody else. And you got to keep in mind, we trained the Afghan army, so some of those guys know how to use the weapons. They're going to teach the Taliban. I heard over 3,000 quit and just joined the Taliban. The reason that the Afghan army capitulated, if I may use that word, is that their leaders, their colonels and captains and generals, just dropped the ball. They knew that the government was going to collapse, and they did an exit. They did, my daughter and I call it an Irish exit, where you leave a group. You're at a funeral and you just leave. You don't say goodbye to anybody. Well, they did an Irish exit in Afghanistan.
Yeah. Okay. So Vin, answer me a question. Why should I care?
If hold on. Because it's going to affect America. They are going to have. We're going to listen. We've had terrorists. We've had the 9/11. Now it's ironic that Biden wanted to get these people out of Afghanistan just before 9/11. He wanted to be the hero. That he got everybody out by 9/11 because it's the 20th anniversary of 9/11. That was his goal. And he didn't plan it right. That's the whole problem. He didn't plan the southern border. He didn't plan opening the border and then having people they had to put them in hotels. He didn't have plans that there's so many people going to be coming in. He's got to have places for them to sleep. He just put them. He did what they claimed Trump did. Put the kids in cages. It was their cages.
Man, where are you going with this? Reel it in. Come on, you're off topic. We're talking about Afghanistan. We're not talking about Mexico.
The point is,
holy
Afghanistan.
Shit.
We're gonna feel the aftermath of Afghanistan, Joe. We're gonna feel it.
Trying to talk to you is like masturbating with a cheese grater. Holy shit!
Oh, that feels good.
God damn it! Listen, let me know when you're gonna stop talking.
Okay, what's gonna happen is the people, the Taliban, has got a free reign. They are going to be coming into the southern border. They're going to be coming through there, and we're gonna feel the aftermath of that. They want us so bad. Now they have us by the balls. Okay. So let's bring Ed Ciani in too. Come on, Jed. I want to hear your 2 cents.
It's inflation. I don't have 2 cents. And my name is Koof, not Ed Ciani. Get it right.
So
where's Joe? Joe, what'd you do? Kick him out? Good. He was good. Leave him out. Don't worry about him. What do you want to know, Vinny? You went through so many different topics. What do I think about Afghanistan? Yeah. First of all,
the aftermath.
If the Taliban actually used those Black Hawk helicopters, it'd be the first time they were used since we bought them, because since we bought them, they've been sitting there doing nothing. And so at least they'll get some use out of it, even if it's comedic use where they fall and break their asses. But, As far as aftermath goes, I don't think we're going to be in as much issues as everybody seems to think. I think right now the first thing the Taliban is going to do is chill out. Um, they know that the entire world is looking at them. The entire world is pissed at them. And if they fart wrong, they're going to get everybody else yelling at them. So I think right now they're going to chill. The southern border is going to be the southern border no matter what. And as far as Biden not having a plan for leaving, he had a plan, but while he was busy trying to make his plan, the Taliban said, "Oh, we can do what we want anyway," and they just went right through. And the Afghan army, they were like, "Oh no, more people fighting. Okay, fuck it, I'm gone." So it's pretty much what it's going to be. They just walked through. When they took over these cities, there was no shots fired. They just came in.
Yeah, they dropped the guns.
They just came in. But the best part I love about all this is everybody is fighting. Oh, it's Trump's fault. It's Biden's fault. It's Trump's fault. It's Biden's fault. But it was Bush that got us into this 20-year fight to begin with.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So while everyone's blaming Mitchell, Bush is sitting back there laughing because he's like, "Look at this! I'm the one that actually started the war, and those two, everybody's fighting about whose fault it is with those two."
Well, Bush made a lot of money on this. That's why he did it.
So did
He owned
Cheney.
Halliburton, and Halliburton had the security, this construction, any aspect of that war in Iraq and in Afghanistan. Halliburton made billions of dollars, billions.
Well, it's not just them. You understand that in Afghanistan, there wasn't military operations. Everything that was done in Afghanistan was done by, what do you call, contractors.
Yeah.
They were all sent from contractors.
And the contractors worked for Halliburton.
So every contract that was out there, including the Black Hawk helicopters and all the equipment, they just dropped. Now, here's something funny. Well, no, I'll wait until everyone else comes on to bring up the funny stuff. Yay! But see, my mask. Just for people out there. I'm wearing my mask. I am home alone, but I got my mask, so I can't transmit anything through the computers. I don't want to give you all computer viruses. So I'm saying, and when I type, I got my little where did I hit it? Finger condoms and eye protection. I had funny ears, but they fell off because they didn't want to stay.
Golden Debbie, well, hi, Vinny. A Biden regime planned this. Better pray for our American. You better believe a Biden regime has no plan to get them out. This was intentional. Yeah.
Of course it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely.
There's a lot of mining in Afghanistan also. But here's what I'm talking about, the aftermath. They're not going to get all the Americans out by August 31st. There's going to be a sprinkling of Americans that are going to be stuck behind one. What is the American going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? Now, my feeling is that the Taliban is being very rigid about this. They're like, well, we're telling you what to do. Now, I would think that, and again, maybe I'm too warlike. I would think that the military would send 25,000 troops and for the perimeter and say, listen, we're getting our people out of here. Now, the French and the English sent their allied troops out and got some of their people back and got them out of the country. How come we can't do that?
We can't do that because it's very simple.
Another war with them.
It would, it's like you pull all the troops out just to do what? Send back in 250,000 troops?
Yeah, well, that's the problem. That's the dilemma you have.
So,
you
no.
You end the war to start another war.
Here's the real dilemma. The real dilemma is the fact that we've gotten, in the last couple of days, what was it, like 10,000 or 100,000 people out of Afghanistan?
57,000 out.
But only like 1% were Americans. So we're talking maybe 1,000 people. So yeah, they're not. They're going to be using this as an excuse for who knows how long. We don't know how many Americans are still in there. We don't know if we're going to get any of them out. you always, like you said, when you do an exit, you pack up all the civilians and the people who are in the most danger. You slowly get them out. You close down your embassy or do whatever you got to do. You get all the weapons and everything accounted for. You get them out, and then you pull the troops out. Or at least you leave bombs around so that when you leave, you blow up all the equipment.
Yeah, well, here's the problem. They left the embassy intact. The embassy has records of American citizens that are in Afghanistan, a list of all the allies.
No.
The Taliban's got they could go door to door, and they're going door to door, and they're going to imprison or kill a lot of Afghan allies.
They left the embassy intact, and Biden's is like, oh, well, we left the embassy intact. But then the State Department, who has been contradicting our president the whole entire time, telling us the real stuff, has said, well, the embassy's there, but there are no diplomatic people in there at all, and there's no records. So then what's the purpose of having the embassy? Why are you telling us it's still there if everything is gone?
First of all, the Department of State and all the government, they're all bureaucrats. They love keeping records. They're anal when it comes to anything. They have names and addresses and everything about everybody. So the Taliban's got that. And they're not that stupid, the Taliban. They know what to do with it. They're going to go house to house, and they're going to kill a lot of people. Now, I don't know if they're going to kill Americans, but I don't know. I don't feel safe. I don't feel that the people in the Americans that are left there are safe.
How are you going to know?
What?
How are you going to know? If you don't know who's still left in there, and there's going to be a media blackout, they can kill whoever they want. We never know. Well, then how are you going to know?
CNN, NBC, MSNBC, you don't see Fox, you don't see any of the news there. The only ones you see are in the Kabul airport, giving their impressions of what's going on, some videos, but very hard to get over outside the thing. Now, what I think they should have did from the day one is increase the perimeter. They never did that. So now it's.
Oh no, they made it smaller.
Oh, they made it smaller. Okay.
They made it smaller. Every day it got smaller until it's one small little spot in the back of the airport with one road in and one road out, and everyone's trying to get in this road.
Now, the only way we know what's going on with some of the people is they're calling up on their cell phones, talking to their family in the United States, telling them. There was one woman who was crying on the phone, said, "Listen, I can't get out of here. I'm in." Every time I come out, they say you can't get near the airport. Don't go near the airport. And they're petrified because the Taliban are not nice people. I don't care how Biden sugarcoats everything.
First of all
right, Golden Debbie's got a lot to say tonight.
Let's clear one thing up, though, about Biden. All right. Biden is not in-depth. Biden is not China Biden or anything else. We got to understand, Biden is not Biden. He's gone. There's nothing in there. So everything that's happening is people are doing it for him.
Yeah. They claim, I heard something today that I claim that Susan Rice is pulling the strings for him. But Susan Rice worked for Obama. So then therefore Obama's pulling the strings.
Well, they've been saying Obama's been pulling the strings since Obama was in office. So who are Golden Debbie? Don't be pissed. You're golden, girl. Stay golden. Stay golden.
I know her for 20 years. She's a brunette. She looks great as a blonde, and she looked good as a brunette.
Really, Vinny? You had to blow her spot up? You had to tell the world that she's not golden.
No, she's golden to me.
And baby. You're a friend for 20 years? Remind me never to do a crime with you because you'd rat us all out. No wonder why you went.
No, it's Susan Rice. And all right, we got to put Courtney on now.
Yeah, get Courtney on.
Yeah, get Courtney on there.
And bring Joe back.
We got too much testosterone here. We need a woman in this in the mix here.
Oh, if we need a woman, definitely get Joe back.
So I definitely agree that it's Susan Rice and Valerie Jarrett who are pulling the strings.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, they're all in the same boat.
And they were pulling the strings when Obama was in office. Yeah. So, yeah.
And Valerie Jarrett was born in Iran. She's Iranian.
Yeah, and I agree with Koof about that's what we're calling him tonight. I agree with him about Bush. Bush started this. Obama,
he made
Obama stood the rise. Valerie Jarrett executed this. But I also agree with you, Vinny, about the way that it was handled and not taking care of the American troops. However, I think the big component that everybody is missing is that this is by design. This is intentional to weaken America. This is about weakening America on the global stage. This is about bringing down the demise of this country and allowing the rise of our enemies. So if you look at the border of Iran, it's growing as a result of this. So who's being empowered? It's Russia, it's China, it's all of our enemies, Iran, who are being weakened by this. It's our allies, like Israel and
Well, Courtney, there's one thing you're going to have to change on this. The one person who you think is going to get on this is not. China is really going to wind up in trouble. They're going to see more problems than we are. Because remember, China has how many Muslims in internment camps in China?
That's
a couple million.
It's somebody just posted, Joe posted the Great Reset. That's exactly what it's about. That is exactly what it's about. That is right on target. And China, what people often miss about China is a pawn and a model for the Great Reset. It's not about China taking over the world. Everybody wants to point the finger at China, which is exactly what the globalists want. But what they don't realize is they are the model and they are the pawns that the globalists are using to execute and lead the way, pave the way for the Great Reset.
Yeah. I wonder, what do we reset? Maybe we need a reset. Maybe it's time to push that freaking button and reset everything. Who knows?
I actually think we do need a reset. We need a reset, which is the Great Awakening, to combat the Great Reset. We need the people, the freedom-loving people around the world, sovereign nations around the world to exercise their freedom, to reestablish their sovereignty, and break free from the chains that the globalists are constraining us with, and to fight the execution of the Great Reset. And the Great Reset has been in motion for a very long time. They've been labeling it the Great Reset more recently. But these measures, to have a new world order and put us all under a one world government have been in the works for literally a century.
It's called the United Nations.
The problem is it's all backfiring slowly but surely.
Because more people are waking up. That's exactly why. And that's what I'm saying. So when you say we need a new reset, I agree. We need more. We need an awakening reset. That's
well, according to them, we're already woke. But anyway.
Well, there's a difference. Woke versus awake.
What is the RV Jacera Nacera? I don't know what that is.
Well, Jacera Nacera, that is it's a financial model. So we are currently under the control of I'm oversimplifying this just for the purpose of explaining it right now, but we are currently under the constraints of the global banks, all of the big central banks. So the original central banks were like the Rothschild Bank, the British Crown, the International the IFM. Yes, exactly. And of course the Federal Reserve, who works in concert with them. So now we have the addition of BlackRock and Vanguard. Vanguard is the primary shareholder of BlackRock, and all the 13 families. The 13 families are the primary shareholders of Vanguard. So they are now a part of it, and the CEO of BlackRock is on the board of the WEF, who is foisting the Great Reset. So that's what we're currently under, and they're pulling the strings to foist the Great Reset and try and usher us all into the one world government. The opposition to that is to free America, which is the execution of the 45-year plan that Kennedy actually tried to implement, and Trump tried to execute. which was to start by taking us out of debt to the London Central Bank, and he succeeded in that first step. And then from there, we could consolidate out of that to restore sovereignty, and which would dissolve. There's the Organic Act of 1861. What?
Is that what? Is that
Vinny,
why?
shut your phone off.
Okay, I got to call. I had to tell him to call him, but
It's so great to have you as a host.
I thought I had it on what do you call it?
On Vibrate. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know what the hell.
Courtney's always right. That's why Courtney's Courtney.
That's why Courtney's on the show.
Thanks. I'm definitely not always right, but
well, listen, Debbie is golden, and she thinks you're right, so that's it. That's all that counts.
End of discussion. Well,
end of story. End of discussion.
That's one of my clients telling me I got a house in the Hamptons for the weekend. That's what it's.
Vinny, why are you telling the world?
In order to.
I hope he's watching. Yeah, I'm going to come. Okay. Listen.
What we need to do is restore sovereignty for the United States, so that we are no longer beholden to these central banks, and so that the power.
Well, it's not going. You know as well as I do, it's not going to happen.
I'm not. I don't know if it'll never happen, but. What more people need to wake up to the fact that the system is rigged, to the fact that even the Federal Reserve Act and the income tax were not constitutionally based. I'm not saying they're not constitutional. There were acts that were implemented and amendments made to the Constitution, so it is now in the Constitution. But there was no basis and no merit for them to be ratified initially.
Right.
The premise for constitutionality was not there.
To begin with, when they started this whole taxes, one of the things our founding fathers, when they wrote all this stuff up, did not want was an income tax. They were very against that. They said that was like the biggest no-no in the world.
Tyranny.
Yeah, really. But you know what? As much as I would love to be, like you said, the problem we have is where their plan is actually succeeding.
I know.
Here's what is in the edge, and I've said this every time I'm on the show, is the education. We have the stupidest bunch of people being trained by the stupidest bunch of people.
It's not stupidity. What it really is indoctrination.
Right.
So we have people who are completely either brainwashed or indoctrinated, and both are just equally as bad. But these people are so incredibly brainwashed that they can't see reality, because they're constant. So in Marxism, it's actually called mass lines action, right? So Mao was a master of this mass lines action, and that's what we keep calling building the narrative. Right. So when you build a narrative, you socially engineer the masses to get in line, and that way it's easier to have a call to action. And mass line actions are.
But they're not even doing that anymore. Now what they're doing is they're doing the second phase, which is where they stop teaching people how to do things.
Right.
So they don't know.
Debbie just said that Nisera was supposed to happen in 2001, and then 9/11 happened, and she's absolutely right. So I don't know that it would have really happened, but I know that there were, actions in place to lead up to that. But then, of course, we had the fraudulent enactment of the Department of Homeland Security, and even the name we are not a homeland. We are 50 sovereign states, right? It is the United States of America. We are united, but we are sovereign states. That is how the Constitution designed us. And the term homeland actually comes out of the Communist Manifesto. We are not a homeland. So that is right off the bat. It's very misleading. But this is part of their inversion tactics, right?
I never liked that name anyway. I just didn't sound right.
What's the matter, Vinny? You're not from the fatherland? You want to be the homeland?
No, I'm not from the fatherland.
How about the motherland?
Oh, motherland, I'm there from them.
Because it's a lie. It's an absolute lie. And they have used it I really do believe they are the enemy of the people. Now we see how far it's gotten over the past 2 decades, right? So now they're making people who are real Americans who stand by American principle. I won't even use the term patriots because I think patriots is a divisive term, which is what they want, right? I always say that the powers that be, they worship a trinity as well, and their trinity is division, destruction, and deception. So they deceive us by manipulating language, by inverting things, and by pointing, the finger elsewhere and projecting. Those are their tactics of deception and manipulating symbols. Semiotics is a really powerful tool that they use. Then, of course, they have to divide. They always divide and conquer. That is one of their, primary games. And then it's destruction, destroy everything, because they think then.
And not only do they destroy it, but then when you don't know how to rebuild it, they can keep going the way they're going. But you're right.
Breeding ground for usurpation.
Symbolism is, you're right, is probably one of the most strongest tools that can be used. Yep. And just the other day, I was reading something, or I was watching something about a symbol that was, I forget where it was. Jesus, I hate it. But they decided to take it down. It was from a school, something from a school or something. And they took it down because, quote unquote, the Proud Boys used the symbol for something. And so now that symbol is part of a white supremacy group.
They're doing that to everything.
But here's my question, okay?
They've been using the Patriotic Act again.
Yeah, well, since that's why it was created for. But here's my question on the symbol. So last time I checked, or I remember, didn't the Ku Klux Klan used to use crosses and burn crosses on people's lawns?
Yeah.
So how come all the Christian religions aren't getting rid of all the crosses because it's a white supremacy symbol?
Right.
It's also a symbol of Jesus Christ on the cross. That's why
but it doesn't matter what it was. It was used by. So by this logic that we're using, everything that was used by should be wiped out because it was used by a white supremacist group.
We have it's all illogical.
By
the way, there was a boulder in some school. I forgot where. I can't keep track of all these places. There was a boulder someplace, and they said that was racist, and they had to move the boulder from the school.
Oh yeah, in Madison, Wisconsin.
Yeah, Wisconsin.
It was at a school, and they decided that.
Why? I don't understand.
Maybe that was it. Maybe it was the boulder I was talking about.
They're so destructive that they're even destroying statues of people that abolitionists. And abolitionists were against slavery. They were trying to help the slaves. Yeah. And they're destroying those properties. They're destroying those. I mean, I don't understand. I could understand destroying civil Confederate flags and I could see that.
Why could you understand that? Why?
Part of our history.
Right. Why?
Because I watched Gettysburg.
That's exactly what Mao did, right?
Right.
Mao did. That's what Stalin did. That's what every communist does.
That's how you get your foot in the door. You say, oh, well, this is a symbol of this, so we're going to destroy it. And then the logic comes, just like I said, well, crosses are next.
Well,
then maybe.
Why can't we do that to them?
Why?
Whatever they have,
because right now, the problem is that the people who should be doing it are the ones they've already got brainwashed. Mm-hmm. So we have to technically wait. The people who are actually starting to wake up and see what's going on are saying, hey, wait a minute. And those are the parents of all these kids.
What the kids are learning.
Right. So slowly but surely, they're all coming back saying, hey, wait a minute. Your job is to teach my kids how to read, write, social studies, get them ready for life, not tell them how they're supposed to feel about the kid sitting next to them.
Yep.
And that you're supposed to bow down to him because he's a minority or you're nobody now and you should be ashamed. Yep. So parents, and these are not the parents, the white parents, because if you notice, all this racial shit and this woke stuff is not coming from the people of color. It's all coming from white people.
Yep, of course.
Especially the military.
Theory teaches you how to be racist.
The military is being
literally what it does.
Brainwashed too.
Like Malcolm X said, the most dangerous person in the world is the white liberal.
Oh yeah, yep, and he was right. Yeah.
And oh, goodbye, Debbie.
Hey,
Stay
yeah,
The revolution comes out of the mouth of a
Stay golden.
Debbie Golden, she's a sweet. I love her. She's a doll.
Stay golden, Debbie.
She is golden.
She was talking about the Patriot Act being created by Bush and Clinton, and Bush was he in his speech. I think in like his speeches used the term New World Order more than any other president.
Yeah, I heard him
a lot, but he did more than any other.
Well, everything that was done was
conservative.
Was the
he was
push.
not a conservative.
He's a rhino.
At all. He was trying to usher in the New World Order.
Well, you know what? I don't know if it was him or more Cheney that was everything.
This is the thing that people really need to understand is that Republicans have throughout history been utilized to be the controlled opposition. And they've done a really good job. So it's really not, unfortunately, it really is the people. It is we, the people, who need to save the country and save the Constitution. It's not the establishment people who are playing this game and are sycophantic to the elites, because that's never going to serve the interests of the people.
Well, when you talk about the elite,
really important for people to understand.
Do what I say, don't do what I do. They just had a video of Nancy Pelosi having about 40, 50 people, no mask. She wants everybody to have a mask mandate, and they're having a wild party. Stephen Colbert and Schumer had a party last week, and they didn't want anybody videotaping, but they videotaped them dancing up. They lie. They tell you what they want you to do, but Newsom, he had a mandate, and meanwhile he had a party at the French restaurant, the French Palace.
Where is the CDC yelling about Obama's birthday party?
They only yell at us. They yell at the peons, the little people, the peasants.
They didn't say anything about Obama's birthday party. That wasn't condemned.
That's Obama's birthday party in Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah, but you know what? Let's talk about the CDC a second and what you were saying, like this whole thing. The person who's in charge of the CDC, this woman, who now said, "Oh, the Pfizer is FDA approved and right, and pushing it through," is the same woman who was in charge back in the old days to approve fentanyl.
Yep.
And pushed it.
Yep.
As the ultimate drug.
I don't know if you guys saw the thread that I did about the origination, like the genesis of the FDA. So no. It was never about health. It was all about economics from the very, very beginning. So there was the advent of margarine, which became a competitor to butter. There was the advent of refrigerated rail cars, which made it much cheaper now to transport meat. And so butchers were the very prosperous and wealthy people because everybody needed meat, right? And so they now had competition because it was so easy to transport meat across state lines. And then there was some chemical advancements and canning. All of this brought down the cost of foods essentially, and made it much easier to transport them. And so that's why the Pure Foods Act of 1906 was implemented. There were many similar acts that were proposed in the late 1800s, even in the early mid.
And they were all squashed.
They never passed, exactly. And all these competing acts, and there was, alcohol, whiskey was involved in this as well. And it was the Pure Foods Act of 1906 was finally got passed due to, the muckraking press and sensationalization, of the media, who were trying to say that it wasn't safe, that these products were no longer safe. And they did it under the guise of safety, but really it was a way to regulate these products so that the people who were successful didn't have competition.
And it was also a way to postpone some of the stuff coming out.
I dealt with the FDA. They're a bunch of bureaucrats.
It was
when I worked for the government, I had to deal with them.
It was a way that if you came out with
it was all about money. It was never about health or safety.
But I'm curious. What
are you saying that the FDA is in cahoots with Pfizer or these drug companies?
Yeah, no, not at all. I would never say that. Why would you think I would say something like that? I would never say anything against my government or anybody that has anything to do with it, because I am a. Oh wait, no, I can't say patriot.
For us, they want to take care of us.
Hold on, let me do this the right way. Yes, I am very good. Yes, I am doing what I am told.
Let's hear from
Yes.
Joe. We haven't heard from Joe in about.
Because Joe's not even here.
All right.
He left.
Okay. You insist.
He left?
He left. He said he had to go.
Oh.
I didn't know that either. I just saw the chat from Anthony, who's hiding in the corner.
You saw a blank screen. That's what you saw.
Well, even when he's here, that's what I see, but that's besides the point.
Did he really leave?
Say, we're very
yeah, according to Anthony, he said he had to go.
We're not that serious tonight, are we?
Well, you know what? I by the way, I just want to let you guys know, if you don't see me for a while, I'm going to tell you why. Because I have decided that I am going to fly to Italy, and I'm going to renounce my U.S. citizenship. And then I'm going to fly into Mexico, and I'm going to walk across the border so that I can get all this money. I want the houses, the Medicaid. I get all the stuff that I can get that I can't get now, and I don't need ID. And on top of that, they'll let me in without doing a COVID test, and I don't have to go with this mandate of proving that I had a vaccine or anything else, because I came in the country illegally. So I'm golden, baby. I'm like Golden Debbie. I'm golden.
Golden Eddie.
And then
Best plan I've ever heard.
And then I'm going to come to New York and have de Blasio put me in one of those $4,000 a night hotels with the rest of the homeless, and give me the food. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out and commit a crime, and then get arrested but released, and then have de Blasio pay me the $1,000 a month not to commit a crime again.
Oh,
well, you got 4 months to do it. You got in January.
I'm going to make a lot of money doing this.
He made a lot of. I'm surprised no one's investigated his wife's Thrive. It got almost $1 billion from the city.
Aren't they protected? It's the protected class.
A billion? A billion?
Unfortunately, you're right about that.
They're giving them more money. I got one of our city's councilmen, and I'll say his name, Robert Holden, not endorsing. He's been putting out, I'm wearing a mask because I need the social distance. What's wrong with you? Where have you been?
Where you been, Jamie?
I mean, he can't give us computer viruses.
I don't want. Look, I even got finger condoms to make everybody safe and everything. He's been saying, what the?
Yeah,
no,
that's exactly. I mean,
am I any more ridiculous than a person driving in a car by himself with it? Or better yet, am I any more ridiculous who a person who puts a profile on a dating app is giving pictures with them wearing a mask?
I didn't see that. I got to see that.
I'm not sure which one is stupider, but anyway, that's what she's doing.
Plenty of fish.
They're all doing.
Plenty of whales on there. I got to tell you, I've seen that.
So he's yelling, "Hey, why are we giving this Thrive New York more money? Why aren't we staying and dealing with Kendra's law?" Which anybody from here knows how it makes the courts mandate somebody with mental illness or doing something like that forces them to get the help. And they're not. What they're doing is they're giving more money. He's just passed more money to Thrive New York, which is his wife's failed shit. 3 times it crashed, and 3 times they can't find the money. How do you lose $850 million in a year?
He probably put about 100 of her friends on salary that don't do anything. She puts everybody on salary, and they got expenses. They go travel, this, that, and the other, all under the guise that they're doing research for the people.
Or you have 2 civil servants who have been civil servants since Cuba, somehow have enough money to put their son through Harvard Law School without any loans or any kind of help. Help me, mommy. So yeah, where'd they get? I mean, I don't know. I that's why I want to leave, because if I come back, they'll send me to Harvard too.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect plan.
I mean,
You got it all worked out.
we should all be doing this. We should all just fucking leave and then come back illegally, and we'll actually get more stuff than we needed before.
Yeah, you know what amazes me is that these illegals collect on Social Security. Thrive New York is a scam like Bill de Blasio is a communist. Wake up, people. She's right. You're right, Jamie.
Jamie, where have you been? I mean, have you not been listening to us for like, I don't know, the last 8 freaking years? I mean, seriously? No shit. I am so glad Jamie told us.
Jail more times than you could imagine. Every month she gets thrown in Facebook jail.
Oh, Facebook jail? I thought you meant real jail. I thought that's where you met her.
No. She visited me in jail. She was, we had conjugal visits.
Well, that explains a lot now.
Yeah, but the only problem with everybody's got to watch you. You're in a big room.
Vinny, I know you. I know that was a normal thing for you. Whether you're in jail or not, let's not go there. I got stories.
Oh, and they're probably true also. Okay.
I got secrets.
Jamie's an old friend of mine. She still works. She's a private investigator, work for us. She's my
Jamie.
She's a personal trainer. She's a very conservative Irish American, and she's a loyal friend. She's one of the few people that you could count on all the time. All right, we got a short and 2 minutes left. I want to thank everybody tonight. You guys are all great. Even with your mask, you look wonderful. Matter of fact, it's an improvement.
Oh, my gosh.
And Courtney, as usual, you always inspire us with your intelligence and your charm and your beauty. What else can I say about you?
Just so you know, Courtney, when I leave, I'm not giving you anything because I'm mad at you.
What?
I'm going to send you my cookbook.
Why? She doesn't cook.
Investigation and stuff.
Especially for my move. Yeah.
Oh, please, I gotta find a place now too.
And he's got to find a place. Me, I got a place.
Yeah.
I have a place in your heart.
Aw.
I don't know where Joe is. I want to thank Joe tonight.
It's a place in hysteria.
I got to tell you one thing about Joe. I love him. He's got he has a little edge to his voice whenever he talks, which I like.
What kind of edge?
A little edgy. And he talks. He's got a little edge. I don't know how to explain that. Can you explain that, Courtney?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's like because he's passionate and he's upset.
No, it's because of that glass of bourbon he has every time he comes on.
You know what? I had water tonight. Maybe the next time I'll have some.
I had water. I finished my water.
I don't have anything, goddammit. I can't find my bottle of tequila.
As we say on Arthur Avenue. Oh, finally puts my books up.
Well, that's your producer.
Yeah, we have to fire him, man. I don't know. I think we got to demote him.
To what?
I don't know. Maybe make him as a guest. My daughter. All right, it's my daughter's company. She took over my baton, and she's running around the track with the Parco Associates. She's doing very good. And we got Parco Media. Subscribe to YouTube channel. Parco Media, Law and Order, and Disorder, and
Courtney, you're on camera.
I got 1 minute left.
Look at your head. Let me see the lights. Move over.
Good night. Good night. Oh, Joe, the anger behind the opinion. Ooh. Okay. Ooh, I like that. Anger.
Joe is not angry. He's not the angry white man.
He's not.
Well, he's never really angry. I went to school with him, and he's a good guy and a good friend.
Did you go to school with him?
Which Joe?
Joe DeFelice.
Well, no, we're talking about the other Joe.
Oh, the other Joe. I never went to his school. The school of Hard Knock.
I don't think Joe went to school. Leave him alone.
I think he just developed his.
Why did your eyeballs get so big, Courtney?
They did.
They went. Bing!
Okay. All right. Good night, everybody. Sempre noi, always with us. Good night, guys.